Bundesliga's back, Rafa, and with a bang. The highest scoring match day of the season so far, 41 goals. Friday night, first game back was leaders Bayern at RB Leipzig. That finished 1-1. See Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting with his 12th of the season. And Jan Sommer debuting between the posts for Bayern. But after that, the goals began to flow. Freiburg, who were in second, went to Augsburg and lost 6-0. Köln, or however they pronounced, met Werder Bremen and beat them 7-1. And they're facing Bayern next. And there was also that 7-goal game that you mentioned between Dortmund and Augsburg. What are you going to tell us about first?
Well, there's so much to talk about. So many goals, so many really good games. I think the biggest surprise in a way was the 6-0 defeat by Freiburg, because they'd only conceded 17 goals so far. And here they are conceding 6 more, which is the biggest number of goals ever conceded in the Christian Streich era in 11 years. That shows you just how out of character that was. I mean, Wolfsburg have been playing really well. Niko Kovac, not always a firm favorite of mine, but 5 wins in a row now. The team really functions well. Very tough to play against. And it was one of those games where every shot is a goal. It was the same in the Köln game, because they scored 5 in the first attempts against Werder Bremen. And the second half was one of those where both sides are quite happy and they just kind of wind down the clock. But Stefan Tigges, that's worth seeing. It's one of those where the goalkeeper comes out, clears the ball, and it lands directly at the feet of a Köln player, and he just calmly chips it from 45 meters into an empty net. Very satisfying if you like that sort of thing, James. And yeah, Dortmund, in terms of the narrative or, what the bigger picture, I think Dortmund's win is probably the most interesting game, in the sense that Edin Terzic told me when I spoke to him in Marbella, told everyone that, he wants to have that Dortmund experience back, the excitement, the drama, the team going for it, all the kind of stuff that they did so well under Jurgen Klopp. But of course, with a sense of balance, with a sense of control. And Sunday's game against Augsburg was exactly the opposite. I mean, it did have all the excitement going forward, and it was great to watch. But defensively, they were shambolic, and it could have easily finished 4-4. And then we'd have a much bigger debate about, I think, Edin Terzic and where Dortmund are going. They just about got away with it, and they scored some absolute wonderful goals. Gio Reyna's winner, probably the pick of the bunch, but Jamie Bino-Gittens came on, scored a beautiful goal, a reverse Robin, if you will, cutting in on his right foot, curling it into the corner. Even the free kick was well executed when Schlotterbeck scored. And Jude Bellingham, absolutely incredible. He's been so good yet again. Scored a fantastic goal. But you wonder, where's this defensive stability coming from? Salih Özcan was supposed to be the man protecting the back four. He had a really bad game as that holding 6 player. And the players in front of him don't defend very well. So still a big question mark over this Dortmund team.
All right. They score lovely goals, though. And they've got Seb Halle back, as you mentioned, who's hopefully going to score some more. And Yusufa Moukoko has extended his contract until 2026. How old will he be in 2026, Rafa? Nice that he's sticking around anyway. Freiburg, absolutely whomped then by Wolfsburg. They dropped to 4th place, and moving up into 2nd place, it's Eintracht Frankfurt, who beat Schalke 3-0. Schalke have now gone 36 consecutive away games without a win in the Bundesliga, as you know. Union are back up to 3rd, and they've also signed Josip Juranovic out of Celtic, who had that brilliant World Cup for Croatia. Nice. Then you got Freiburg, and then you got Dortmund in 5th. Further down, a big win for Xabi Alonso. That's their, fourth straight victory. They beat Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, Daniel Farke's Borussia Mönchengladbach, who are a little bit in disarray, I would say. There's stuff happening behind the scenes. They have lots of people out of contract. They lost their main keeper, of course, to Bayern. Brought in a good-looking replacement. Good in the sense that he looks decent. No one is as quite good-looking physically as a man, as a specimen at Jan Sommer. But the bigger issue is that there's going to be a lot of upheaval, and the club don't look as if they're going to be qualifying for Europe at this point, which will make it very difficult to replenish the squad and change things around. They're drifting at the moment. And Leverkusen, their good run, I think, brings them back into the race for the European places, maybe even an outside chance of still making the Champions League if they continue like that. And the interesting thing is that Xabi Alonso has kind of played against his own principles so far by being very defensive and playing a lot of counter-attacking football. But I think he has realized that most importantly, he needs to get this team to work better defensively. They kept a lot of clean sheets, not in this game. They conceded 2 late goals, but they've looked a lot more solid. It's come at the price of a bit of their technical, expensive football that we like to see. But it looks as if it works at the moment. And once they have Florian Wirtz coming back, he missed this game, came on very late after feeling a bit of a flu or certainly an illness at the weekend. Then I think we might see a more Xabi Alonso-esque team evolving, which is the hope.
The Totally Football Show podcast is available 3 times a week, bringing you all the football news you could reasonably be expected to care about. We've got views, we've got stats, we've got analysis, we've got some of the best football writers around, and the whole thing is absolutely free. So have a listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or all the usual places by clicking on the link below.